Hey friends, my name is Sammy and welcome back to this week's video. This week I decided to bring you some iron skillet meals, maybe even some one skillet dinners if you want to say it that way. These are some of our favorites and a couple new to us recipes as well. So if you're interested in this type of video, please stick around because I'm going to guarantee you're not going to want to miss this. These recipes were fantastic, quick and easy on a weeknight. So I hope you enjoy this video and thanks for watching. Alright, so to start off here, I'm just mixing my seasonings together to put on my chicken thighs. I have some Badia Complete, Badia Black Garlic, and then the Badia Orange Pepper. And then we're going to put in some regular pepper. And I believe I did some Cavenders as well to kind of start off. And then we'll have some regular paprika and a smoked paprika, along with garlic powder, onion powder, and garlic salt. I know it sounds like a lot, but I promise you this is what you have to make this work. But you can use any seasonings that y'all like. This is just how my family likes to have their chicken. So I'm just putting a little bit of olive oil in this iron skillet right here. I'm going to brush it all over the sides because this is going to bake in the oven. So once you have your chicken arranged in your skillet right here, you'll see me here in a second. We're going to go ahead and put the seasonings on and we're going to coat this side very well. We'll flip the chicken over and just until all that seasoning goes all the way over the chicken. So you'll just keep flipping it and then making sure that seasoning's on both sides of those. You'll see me do it right here just to make sure. And once you do have that done, then you'll go ahead and put it in a 400-degree oven for 20 minutes on each side. So I'm going to go ahead, well, I'm just adding a little bit of more smoked paprika on top right here. But this is going to go in a 400-degree oven, 20 minutes on each side. And then at the last minute, you'll want to take it out and broil the top to get that skin crispy. So I wanted to go ahead and heat up some spinach, and all I do to mine is just put a little bit of nature seasoning and some butter and let that heat on up. And while everything else is cooking, we're going to go ahead and make, I think it's a stovetop savory herbs. I just heated that water and that butter up together in the microwave, and then I dumped my stovetop in the bowl, and then while that was heating up in the microwave, I sprayed my little silicone muffin tin right there, and then we're just going to mix this stuffing up. We'll set a plate over top of it just so that stuffing can go ahead and cook per se, just until it absorbs all that water, and then we'll come back and make our stuffing. So now that that was ready to be put into these little molds, I'm just going to drop it by spoonfuls in there, and then we're going to put those into a 400-degree oven as well. Whenever that chicken gets done is when we'll put those in, because it doesn't take very long at all to cook, but you just want to cook it until they're browned on top, and then everything should be ready not too much longer after that. So here I am flipping that chicken. That's what I was telling y'all about, just so that I cook it skin side down first though. So once I have it flipped, it'll go right back in there. And then that last 20 minutes for the cook time, about halfway through, 15 minutes in, you'll want to put those muffins in to where everything can cook together. So everything's done. I'm just going to go ahead and plate this on up. And this meal was absolutely delicious. Probably one of the best suppers we've had in a long time. And I hope y'all will maybe try this out for your family one night, because I know y'all ain't gonna be disappointed with this chicken. I promise you. Okay, so supper this night was a pork chop and tater skillet. I'll have the recipe and everything for all of these linked down below in my description box, but this one was so good. So you'll have some taters, some cream of onion soup, cream of mushroom soup, some pork chops. I did the bone-in thick cut, an onion, some butter, some carrots, and a little bit of water in order to make your little cream soup that's going to go in your vegetables. So starting out, you'll just want to slice up all your veggies, whatever you want. I did baby carrots, red taters, and an onion. I'm just going to go ahead and just make sure all of those are sliced up into bite-sized pieces, because if you look at the recipe, I believe how they had them cut up, it would never have gotten done in time. So I just cut them up a little bit smaller, and I let them cook a little bit longer in the skillet after the pork chops were browned. I just felt like it wasn't going to cook in the amount of time that it was in the oven. You don't have to cook this in the oven, but I wanted to, that way I could get some other stuff done around the house. So all recipes are adaptable. Y'all just got to remember that. Make it to fit your family, your time schedule. Everything is always fixable. So once those veggies are cut up, and we're going to go ahead and fry these pork chops on up, and I just have some Badia complete on those, just a simple seasoning for them. And then I'm just going to do the same for this side. We're going to go ahead and brown them on both sides. They're thick cut, so we'll cook them. Oh, I say I cooked them probably about 8 minutes on each side, and then we'll finish them off in the oven. So while those were browning, we're going to go ahead and make our cream soup mixture that's going to go on top of our vegetables in the skillet. And so I just took both cans. Now, if you're not making a lot, just use one can, because then you're going to have too much soup, you know, for the serving size. So since we had a lot, I just used the 2 cans. And I stirred them together first, and then I'm going to go ahead and add in that water a little bit at a time, because I didn't want it too runny. Like I said, it's your kitchen. You make it the way you want to. This is just how I did it, and it was really good. You can use any flavor cream soup as well. You don't have to have those, you know, in case there's like an allergy or something. So if you want to use cream of potato, cream of celery, any of the cream soups will be fine for this. Whatever makes your little heart happy, that's what y'all need to make. So here I am just flipping these on over, and just make sure I cook them on that other side until they're nice and golden brown. And then you'll see here in just a second, this editing stuff is great, isn't it? So we're just going to go ahead and take these on out, put them in a plate, and then to the skillet I'm going to add just a little bit of butter in there to kind of help saute these veggies. So we will melt this butter on down, and then we're going to go ahead and dump in our vegetables to this, and just to make sure that they get sauteed through. Right, so now that that butter is melted, we're dumping in our vegetables, and I'm seasoning it with a little bit of Badia complete. We're going to stir those all together and just make sure that they're well coated in all the seasoning and the butter that was put in there, and try to scrape up as many of those brown bits as you can, because that is going to add so much flavor to your dish. So once I have those coated, then we'll let I use a pizza pan, because it's the only thing I have right now that'll fit over my cast iron skillet to kind of keep the moisture in there, or the heat in there, to, you know, where those vegetables will cook. But I think I let them stay in there for about 15 to 20 minutes. So here I am just stirring them up after they've kind of sauteed in that pan. And here I'm going to go ahead and add on in that cream soup mixture after I throw potatoes everywhere. So I had to clean my mess up. But I'm going to go ahead and add in that cream soup, give it a good stir, and just to make sure that everything is coated. And we'll kind of let that simmer while we go ahead and get our pork chops. I just have those sitting in my microwave just so they'll stay warm while I'm doing this process. All right, so we have all of our vegetables in the cream soup all mixed together. We're placing those pork chops on top, and remember, they're not cooked all the way through yet, because they're going to do the rest of that cooking in the oven. Now once I have this in here like this, I just pour the rest of that juice that come off those chops, because that is just extra flavor. I know I probably say it a lot, but it's extra flavor, and it is so good. So you definitely want to make sure you do that. If y'all like it, if you don't, it's fine. But here it is after it went into a 375-degree oven for about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your oven. And this was so good, so hearty, so filling. Definitely a country meal, 100%. You can't beat it on a cold night. And it's perfect weather up here in West Virginia today because it is snowing. And I have a big old pot of chili on too. So I'm just gonna go ahead and serve this on up. And yeah, that was supper this night, and it was absolutely delicious. All right, y'all, so moving on. This one by far was probably my favorite. Did I have a little bit of hiccups and some glitches with this one? Of course. With all new recipes, you could be faced with that, but it's a learning experience. You adapt and you move on, and as long as it tastes good and your family likes it, that's all that matters. So basically here I just have everything for a homemade pizza, and that's the pizza crust that I use anytime I make a homemade pizza, unless I buy the store-bought. So to start this recipe off, of course, you need your cast iron skillet, because that's the theme for this week. It's just cast iron one skillet meals, or just cast iron meals, period. So I just have a pound of lean ground beef right here. I'm going to go ahead and brown that on up, and I do add some chopped up onions to this just to kind of help the flavor. Plus, I love onions on my pizza anyways, so I get tongue-tied so bad, y'all. My apologies. But once those onions get in there, I just kind of mash it all together with my little meat masher right here until it is well cooked. You do want to make sure that ground beef is thoroughly cooked through. You do not want to leave it pink. Not for this kind of dish anyways, but it is going to cook in the oven anyways, because we're making an upside down cast iron pizza. Yes, I said it, an upside down cast iron pizza. All right, so now that that hamburger is out of there, we're going to go ahead and that same skillet, no washing, no nothing in between. It's fine. It's just going to add to that pizza. So here is where you start putting in your toppings. It's just like the reverse of a normal pizza, in my opinion. So I put my pepperonis down. The skillet is still hot, so it's going to kind of crisp those up a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in some olives, and whatever toppings you want, it'll be fine. Now here I am adding in the ground beef and the onions. Now y'all seen where I put those green olives, because I had to do half because my youngest son does not like green olives at all. So on top of that ground beef, I'm going to put mushrooms over the entire pizza. And then we'll come in with some chopped up ham. I just had some sliced ham there, and I just cut it on up into little bite-sized pieces. We're going to sprinkle that everywhere. And once you have your toppings that you're finished with, you'll just go ahead and add on in your provolone cheese slices first, and then you'll add in your shredded Parmesan cheese on top of that. And then, as if that's not enough cheese, you are going to add in some mozzarella as well. I just dumped whatever of the Parmesan I had left because we like cheese in this house. So this is probably about 1.5 to 2 cups of mozzarella. You got to remember, this is a thick pizza, and you need a lot of cheese. So I forgot to add my bacon bits here, and I'm just put those on top of that cheese. It's fine. And then the Chef Boyardee pizza sauce, I used a whole can. It might look like you need a little bit more, but trust me on this, you're not gonna need a lot. So as soon as I had all of that done, I went ahead and made my pizza dough and let it sit long enough to where, you know, it'd be elastic. Now make sure you plop your dough down like that to where it'll spray that flour everywhere, because that's the point of cooking. You gotta have fun in your kitchen. All messes can be cleaned up. So once I have this where I want it, I just go ahead and kind of hand stretch that out enough to where it fits over that whole skillet, and the sauce will get on it, but it's okay. It's authentic. That's what makes it, right? So I just stretched it over the whole top, and then we're gonna go ahead and put this in a 400-degree oven for about 45 minutes. Now, I know it sounds like a long time, but trust me on this, you're gonna need that time. So went ahead and pulled that on out, and you need to let it sit a little bit before you slice into it. Now, by all means, if you want to invert this onto a big old pizza pan, go ahead and do that after it sits. But this kind of reminded me of my daddy's deep dish pizza, and I didn't want it, you know, like crispy on the top, like where the pepperonis are. So I left it as is, and now don't worry, I'm not messing up my cast iron here. I'm just kind of slicing through the crust. So here it is, and then I just turned it up on the plate like that and served it on up, and y'all, this was absolutely delicious. It's a must try. And last but not least, we're making up a delicious egg roll in a bowl. This is so good, and it's also keto friendly. So if you're looking for something like that, please check this one out. We just love it because we love homemade Chinese food anyways, and this is to die for. So I have some sliced carrots, some broccoli slaw, angel hair coleslaw mix, some garlic, regular sausage, soy sauce, and then some stir-fry sauce, and you'll see me add that later. But to start this recipe off, you'll just need to brown your 1 pound of pork sausage. I use the regular flavor. You can use sage or whatever flavor. You could even do the hot. And I've thought about that, but I don't know if everybody would like it or not here. So I just stick with the regular. It has enough seasoning. And then you'll want to go ahead and add in a red onion. I did forget that when I was showing you everything that you would need, but I just diced that onion on up and threw it into the sausage to where it could cook on down. Once that is brown through is when you'll add your carrots first, because they're going to take the longest to kind of get tender. Even though they're matchsticks, carrots have a tendency of, well, taking long to cook. It's just how they are. So I'll just stir that on in there and let it cook down a little bit, and then I'll add in my first bag of that angel hair coleslaw. You could definitely buy a head of cabbage and shred it yourself, but this is just easier for me because I do work a full-time job outside of YouTube. So by the time I get home and cook dinner, it's approaching 6:30, 7 o'clock. So I need something that's fast, quick, and easy and get supper on the table. And this one does it. So there I'm adding in that broccoli slaw. Sometimes I do a half a bag to a whole bag. It just depends. And then I did a cup of chicken broth. I just made it up myself out of my little chicken powder. And then you'll dump in however much garlic y'all want. If you've been here for a while, y'all know I love my garlic, and so does my family. So we like a lot. Now, once you have everything in there too, you'll put just however much soy sauce you want. It's all about taste for this dish, so you just kind of taste it as you go along. I probably put about 3 to 4 tablespoons of soy sauce in there, depending on the size. Back with my pizza pan lid right here to let those veggies get tender. Here it is once it is all cooked up, and we're getting ready to serve that. So once you're ready to serve, what I do is just slice up some green onions right here, and I do have my stir-fry sauce sitting right there, and I'll show you why here in a minute. But I like a little freshness on top of those cooked veggies, so this is why I slice up some green onions, and trust me, it definitely hits the spot. So I heated up a little package of this ready rice by, I think it's Uncle Ben's on here, or Ben's Original, however they have it now. So I heated that up per package directions, put that on in my bowl, and then use some of the mixture on top of that rice. And once I have that all in there, I just sprinkle a little bit of the green onions on top, add a little bit of that stir-fry sauce, and a bon appetit. This is so, so delicious. It is so good. Definitely a must try. All right, y'all, and that is it for this video. I really do and truly hope y'all enjoyed it, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for taking the time out to come over to my channel and show me some love. Until next time, my friends, God bless. Bye.